One who is next to you right now is your neighbor.
I love the cosmos. Oh, that's very easy. If you have to just love one being, it costs life.
Neighbor does not mean somebody who lives next door. Whatever is right next to you right now. One who is next to you right now is your neighbor. If Jesus had said, love somebody who is in the other side of the planet, they would have loved them. Very easy. Your neighbor, he is not good, isn't it? This moment, whoever is next to you, if you learn to love him, you will become loving by your own nature, isn't it? Yes? Because this moment this person is there, another moment another person is there, next moment an insect is there, next moment somebody is there. If you just learn to love anything that is next to you right now, your nature will become loving. Loving means what? On the level of the emotion, a certain level of inclusiveness, isn't it? Love your neighbor is not easy, it needs transformation, isn't it? Something about you has to change to love your neighbor. To love God, you don't have to change anything, you can bullshit yourself completely, you can bullshit the whole world and still love God.
This is just like these days, it's become a fad everywhere. Especially I find the New Age spirituality in the West has taken on this. Oh, I love humanity. I love the cosmos. Oh, that's very easy. You don't have to love anybody. If you have to love one individual, it costs life. If you have to just love one being, it costs life, isn't it? I love the whole cosmos, but I can't stand the person who's sitting next to me right now. That's a different thing. Now, this is just bullshit. Too much of it. Yes? I love the whole humanity. Where did you see the whole damn humanity to love them? No, I just love. Yes, that's very easy. Just try to love one person and see what it costs. So much of you have to put it on the ground. So much of you have to surrender if you have to love just one person, isn't it? Yes? But I love the whole humanity. This is easy. Someone said, love thy neighbor. That's very significant, very significant. Oh, let me check who is my neighbor. That's not the point. Whoever is next to you right now, whatever is in touch with you right now, just to love it indiscriminately. The very air that you breathe, neighbor. Yes? Is it your neighbor?
Yes.
The water that you drink, neighbor, sitting here, right? Is he your neighbor? The land that you walk on, is he your neighbor? Just to know that, whatever is in touch with you right now. Now, this is something else, it costs life. Otherwise it won't happen.
Black is one thing you should never wear. This will determine the way your energy functions, the psychological stability that you have within you. Adiyogi is known in many ways, but one dimension of him is a Vairagi, or a Vairagi as it's called. Rag means color, Vairag means to go beyond that which is color. Because color as we know it, color as our visual apparatus know it, is only a certain breakdown of the white light. Something looks red, not because it is red, because of the entire spectrum of colors which exist in the white light. It holds back everything and reflects only red, or in other words, what it rejects becomes its color. That means the perception is completely wrong. You think something is red, it's everything except red. And you think it's red because it's reflecting red light only, rest it's holding back. So something is white because it's reflecting everything as it is. So, if you move about in areas and spaces and situations where you have no control over what happens around you, always white was suggested. If you walked out, white, because you don't know what's happening. You don't know what's happening in the world around you, you don't know what's happening in whose mind, what thoughts, what emotions people carry. So white gives you a certain protection because it reflects everything, not just the light, the very energy. Black absorbs everything. If you're in a space where you want to absorb what is around you, you must wear black. But if you wear black in a place where you don't want to absorb, but you wear because you look slimmer, then you will start accumulating all kinds of things. I would… it's a very unpopular thing to say, I would ascribe at least 20 to 25% of psychological struggles that people go through to remaining in black clothes for long periods of time in all kinds of situations where they should not be. And I see because black is always bad. Whether… let me not get into this. But somehow, black is considered negative, black is considered not so divine. Black is considered devilish. The devil comes, he will definitely come in black clothes. Based on this, people are wearing black for mourning. When somebody's dead, black is one thing you should never wear. If there is death around you, you must always wear white because you don't want to absorb that kind of energy. But I see everybody's wearing black when there is death. Complete misunderstanding of life or no awareness at all. You've just arrived at things intellectually that you think black means signifies death. Yes, it does, I'm not saying no. But you want to become that or you want to stay away from that? Those who are dead, we respect that. But those who are alive should stay alive, they should not become half-dead, imbibing that kind of stuff. So if there's anything that you don't want to absorb, you must wear white. All the other colors are in between play, but it is between black and white. White means complete reflection, black means no reflection. In between is selective reflection. That's for fun. But where we want to really absorb something, we wear black. Where we want to reflect, then you wear white. So, this the reverse is being done for a long time. You don't go with this on the street, you don't go with this to the office. I'm saying black clothes, not just the black… this particular cloth. You don't go walk in the subway I mean a railway station, not food, okay? It's all getting mixed up. You do not go to places where you don't want that atmosphere to enter you in black clothing, because this will determine the way your energy functions, this will determine the psychological stability that you have within you and variety of other aspects. Well, it has its tricks, okay?
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. There's a video which is going around in social media, distorting the meaning of what you spoke about Krishna, and many people are falling for it and saying negative things about you. And it has happened before also. Why is that people are not able to see through such acts again and again?
Yes, somebody brought this… Leela video from the program Leela. The program Leela was conducted because of our profound appreciation and devotion for Krishna as the most playful and fantastic, colorful manifestation of yoga. Well, this is an intimate program of 8 days, many things have been said. They take a video and mischievously edit it and make it look like it's some sacrilegious thing has been said. Their idea of sacrilege is this: I'm talking about Krishna and Yashoda, who is his foster mother. And I say, initially though she was there as a mother, after some time she becomes her lover. Their idea of lover means going to bed with somebody. They don't understand that Krishna is love. There is nobody who cannot be his lover. Everybody can be there only as his lover, no other way. Unfortunately, their idea of a lover is sexuality and they're feeling offended about it. Some are genuinely offended, I'm sorry for them. But others are mischievous, they're making up these things, they know why they edited the the video like that. It's an intentional, mischievous edit. So for those who are genuinely admirers and lovers of Krishna, I'm using that word again for you, if you are, you can be rest assured that I will not say something against him or anybody for that matter. Krishna, there is no other way to approach him than as a lover. So when she realizes the child that she is possessive about and so enamored with, she realizes slowly as he grows what is his quality. She knows the only way she can engage with him is to be in love with him, and she is. To be in love with somebody, actually, even physical lovers, when they're really loving, there will be no sexuality between them, they will be just there. Just holding hands and sitting is all that matters, it'll become like that. So even among them, where they came together because of bodily push, even they become like that. Here, he is an embodiment of love. How can anybody be without being his lover? Everybody, his mother, grandmother, friends, man, woman, child, cows, everybody loves him because that's the only way they can be. If you love somebody, you are his lover. If you don't understand that, I'm very sorry. Those of you who've been hurt, genuinely believing I've said something against that, I'm sorry, please correct yourself, it's not so. But those of you who are doing it mischievously, what can I do for you? At least when it comes to Krishna, bring some love into your heart. Don't go about with this mischief and these hate campaigns that you run all the time. What to say about that? Surya Kriya is an effort, and a wonderful effort to bring your system in synchronicity with the rest of the solar system. It's called Surya Namaskar because mainly to activate the solar plexus. Your physical health, your psychological health, your spiritual possibility, everything is determined by this. Surya Kriya is the practice. Surya Namaskar is dumbed down a little bit. The word Hatha means… Ha means sun, Tha means moon. Without sun and moon, there is no Hatha Yoga. So, historically, because I am not a scholar, I do not know when they use this name for the first time as Namaskar or Surya Namaskar. But the practice, the way it's taught different ways in a few different places. I'm not talking about the distortions, I'm saying consciously taught in different ways in a few different places for different purposes. Within the ashram, I think largely many people are practicing 4 different versions of Surya Namaskar. I practice a different version, that makes it 5. Largely it's called Surya Namaskar because mainly to activate the solar plexus, to generate the heat in the system, to raise the samat prana or the solar heat in the system. When we say solar, it is not just symbolic. I want you to understand, all heat that you experience on this planet is essentially from the sun, stored and released in many ways. All hydrocarbons have formed the way they have formed essentially because they're all sun-baked. If you take a piece of wood and burn it, it is only releasing the solar energy. If solar energy is taken away, the whole planet will freeze into solid ice. Research says in 18 hours' time, all the oceans will become solid ice in 18 hours. If the sun vanishes right now, by day after tomorrow morning, everything will be solid ice, nothing will be liquid. So, everything is run by solar power. You may think we are generating power by thermal or by gas or by this. No, everything is happening because of solar power. Only exception could be, I'm not sure about this, I would like to know the technicalities of it, could be the breaking of the atom. That is not solar. And that's why it is considered the most effective and the most dangerous, because you are not using the normal powerhouse of the solar… of this system, which is the sun. So when we activate the sun in the system, the body begins to glow and shine, everything. If you have certain types of problems which manifest usually in the form of excess mucus in the system, not just in your nasal passages, all over, the mucus levels can rise. One who is doing Surya Namaskar, for him, his glandular secretions and mucus levels will be very easily balanced and in a good shape. And this determines a lot of things about you, not just your physical health. Your physical health, your psychological health, your spiritual possibility, everything is determined by this, depending upon how much of solar energy within you, or in other words, how balanced are your secretions. If your glandular secretions are slightly imbalanced, it's very hard even to sit here and listen, forget about meditating or doing something else. It'll make you feel crazy because chemistry will go wonky. So this is one of the simplest and the most effective sadhanas to bring that balance. Now when we commence the Hatha Yoga school, we will start teaching a certain form of sun-related practice, very much like Surya Namaskar, but it's called Surya Kriya because it involves a certain level of breath and other things. Surya Kriya is an effort, and a wonderful effort to bring your system in synchronicity with the rest of the solar system. Surya Namaskar, and there's one more called Surya Shakti, these are country cousins. Finer things if you tell people, not everybody will understand, so you kind of make it, dumb it down a bit. If you bring a certain synchronicity with yourself and the larger body, this is the smaller body, the larger body is the solar system. If these two things are together, your physical, psychological and material well-being will happen without effort. Everything that you do will happen well. So, Surya Kriya is the practice. Surya Namaskar is dumbed down a little bit. Surya Shakti, further dumbed down, more for building muscle and physical culture. It's very aerobic in nature. It's a complete exercise. You don't need any equipment. If you're in a hotel room, wherever you are, you do the necessary Surya Namaskar or Surya Shaktis, you will see you're completely fit. Different shapes and sizes kind of create different kinds of energy structures. These energy structures can determine your psychological and emotional state. So, certain substances can change the atmosphere. It's a precious little material and you have to walk miles and miles to get substantial amount of resin. It just makes the atmosphere feel more lively.
This question comes from Ashley in Memphis. Namaskaram Sadhguru. Incense has been used for thousands of years in almost every culture to invoke gods, support meditation, and for healing and medicinal purposes. Burning herbs and resins has been an especially big part of both Indian history as well as Native American history. Can you please speak about the significance of burning incense and how incense should be used in modern times?
Oh, is that the reason I'm being smoked then? And the question is from Ashley. Incense is usually ashly. Without ash, there is no incense. Well, the significance of this is, there are certain substances when they burn. One thing is there is fragrance, of course, which is pleasant for the nostrils. And incense burning is about the atmosphere, not about you. Because different spaces, indoors especially, in different spaces, there are different kinds of… One thing is smells, there's also different kinds of energy structures which will happen. The shape and size of the room will do this. This is why there is such a attention to the shape and size of the room. In Indian culture, there is a whole attention to the shape and size of the room in which you live, because the shape and size of the room in some way, if it is not heavily ventilated, when I say heavily ventilated, from both sides two walls are open and it's happening, then it feels almost like outdoor. That's different. Most homes are not made this way because they have neighbors, you can't open too many windows too many openings won't work, there is weather, there are many things, all right. And there is air conditioning, worse. So, different shapes and sizes kind of create different kinds of energy structures. These energy structures can, if they become very strong, can determine your psychological and emotional state, which either can be conducive or can become an impediment in who you want to be. So, certain substances, like sandal in India, there is something called as samrani, which is a very powerful thing, which is used even when people are ill. First thing they do is this, and it is now been found it also kills certain types of bacteria in the air and also on the surfaces. So especially if there is a sick person in the house, samrani everywhere. If they want to do some auspicious event, samrani all over the place. It's a certain kind of resin which as a tree drips. Well, in this pursuit of samrani, you will see in the forest there are massive trees. People would have carved into the tree because the trees look solid outside, but inside there is a cavity. In that cavity, it will be dripping this resin. We do not know, at least I do not know, what is the natural reason why these resins come out, but people go and gather this. It's a precious little material and you have to walk miles and miles to get substantial amount of resin, because these trees have to be mature. That means they must be at least over 30 to 50 years old, otherwise you don't get it. This has a powerful impact on the atmosphere. It is not necessarily a fragrance, it is a different kind of thing, that it clarifies the air, it just makes the atmosphere feel more lively. Fundamentally, whatever structures that are there, it will make indoor like outdoor. If you burn a mild, you shouldn't to put too much, then you will sneeze and lose your brains. Just mild samrani in the house will make it feel like, though you're indoors, the feeling is of outdoors because it's an unstructured space. Especially if death happens in the family, samrani is burnt for up to 11 to 12 days because they want to clear that air completely. These are subtler aspects, but I'm little apprehensive of speaking about this in United States because there is already so much new age, you know. Because first when I came to Nashville, someone in Nashville told me that, Sadhguru, there is a spiritual expo happening. I said, what? Spiritual expo? Even in India, it happens only once in 12 years. No, here every year we have. I said, I want to see. They said, okay, let's go. And then in the afternoon, they came to pick me up and they said, Sadhguru, we've gotten a slot for you to speak in the spiritual expo. I said, great. For the first time I'm in United States, I thought, spiritual expo. And I went there. A huge tent, and when we went in there, country music was going on full blast. Obviously this was a group which wouldn't find any other paid stage. Maybe in the evening more known groups would come. In the afternoon, it's an empty stage, anybody can use the sound system. So they were banging away. I said, okay, spiritual expo, but it's okay, music is just a cultural thing, let me focus on the spiritual expo. I went inside, somebody is selling a spiritual bath soap. Wow. Somebody is selling a spiritual stone, a pebble from somewhere which is spiritual. Like this, roots, herbs, this, that. I don't know if there was a toothbrush. Then I thought, oh, this is like the Indian shandy. You know, in the Indian villages there is a shandy. Sunday market or Wednesday market or Monday markets like this. So here there will be all kinds of exotic things being sold. There will be a root just this much, just like this. It should not be straight, you know, it should be… I can't do that with my finger. So if you take this is a root that could make you invisible. You must go grind this along with the left jawbone of a female whale. And the whale should be alive. That means you actually swam in there, cut a piece of the jaw and came, and together, if you rub this together along with something and there is a mantra, you do this, and then that paste, if you put it in the upper palate, you will become invisible. Actually, if you go into the mouth of the whale, you will become invisible. Anyway, then I saw, oh, this is like an Indian shandy. There they were selling all kinds of exotic incense also. Incense has a certain impact, but don't overdo it. Don't think it'll determine your spiritual nature. It can change the atmosphere a little bit. It should not be over certified. It has certain impact. One can use it in a sensible manner, but these days incense is being made with chemical stuff. Best you don't burn those things. It's very, very important before you have enough chemical thing happening on the street, in the industry, in the factory floor that you may be working, wherever, there's enough chemicals floating around. At least within your house, do not burn chemically made incense, because I think that is almost 70% or 80% of what's available in the market today is chemical. You must take it out before you burn it. It's very, very important because within the closed enclosures, if you burn chemicals, well, the negative impact of that is very, very big. So it must be natural resin or certain other oils, essential oils and things which can make a difference. A mild difference, if you need that kind of a difference, it helps definitely.
Shivanagabandhana Yogeshwara.
Welcome to Mahashivratri 2021.
लिङ्गभैरव्योऽहं सश्रद्धे सप्तचक्राय ध्यानलिङ्गाय दिव्य आरती अर्पयामि।
As long as you keep your spiritual heart alive, whatever sort of challenges life throws at us, we can still ride them with dignity and grace.
చాలా మంచి పీస్ఫుల్ ఉంది, చాలా స్పిరిచువల్ ఉంది, ఇక్కడ చాలా ఆధ్యాత్మికత ఉంది.
Challenging times, but still your devotion, your enthusiasm, over 3 million people are being initiated through the Rudraksh Diksha. This is phenomenal. There is no need for people to fear corporations because the farmers will become the largest corporations in the country. Mahashivratri is relevant for every life that's upon this planet. To really benefit, you need a vertical spine. Wherever you are, time to keep it erect.
என்னப்ப நல்லவா என் தாயுமல்லவா, என்னப்ப நல்லவா என் தாயுமல்லவா, பொன்னப்ப நல்லவா பொன்னம்பலத்தவா, நகவெச்சிய மதுர கவிஞனை புயவரையில் புரைவீரன் அயுவீரன். तकिट धाम मगन थई नाचे थई 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 ओ जी.
84 की नींद में मारा सतगुरु आके जगा गया.
बलहारी जाऊं रे मैं वारी जाऊं रे, बलहारी जाऊं रे मारा सतगुरु आंगन आया मैं वारी जाऊं रे, मारा निर्गुण आंगन आया मैं वारी जाऊं रे.
अपनी सी रंग दी नीरे मोसे नैना, नैना रे मोसे नैना, नैना रे मोसे नैना के पूछा रंग सब नीरे मोसे नैना मेरा के.
அதாவது ஒரு மோசமான ஆண்டை தாண்டி 2021 அடி எடுத்து வச்சு மிக பிரம்மாண்டமாக இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி சிறப்பாக முடிஞ்சிருக்கு. ஊருதி ரெண்டுருச்சு ஐயா, ஊருதி ரெண்டுருச்சு, இங்கே ஒற்றுமையாயிருச்சு. ஈசாசி வராத்திரி தன்னானே, நாங்க ஈசனை கும்பிடுறோம் தன்னானே. சர்வம் நமச்சிவாய, சகலம் நமச்சிவாய, சித்தன் நமச்சிவாய, சிவனே நமச்சிவாய. சம்போ சிவமே சிவமே சிவ சம்போ சிவமே சிவமே.
On this Mahashivratri night, it's my wish and my blessing, every one of you who've gone through various levels of hardship, let this be a new beginning. Mahashivratri, may the grace of the Divine be with you.
अब तो मिलके करेंगे धमाल आज सने
This question is from Prabhu. Namaskaram Sadhguru. Yesterday you spoke about deities as tools. In my experience, all the tools I use, they enhance the function of one of my sense organs. I can't perceive anything outside of the 5 sense organs. So how can I utilize a tool like a deity, which supposedly enhances my perception on a dimension that I cannot even perceive right now?
No, first enhance the existing perception. Wear spectacles, you'll see better, you know. Yes, just a small lens, an invisible lens, a contact lens if you wear, suddenly the world becomes clear, you know. That's all it takes. Now, you do not approach a deity in terms of, I want to access this, I want to access that. There are certain type of people who do that. That's not the way to go. The simple thing is, if the deity is properly consecrated, when I say properly, each one of them is consecrated normally for a specific purpose. Now we have a dhyana linga. It is for meditativeness. You don't cry there, go there and cry, dhyana linga, my financial situation not working out, please. That guy just sits like this. Because he doesn't know what is financial situation, he doesn't care. Because he doesn't eat, he doesn't do anything. What does financial situation mean to him? Then you go to Devi, you know. There you can cry, because she needs these things, she understands that part. Like this, different things are made for different purposes. All that might have gotten garbled in the culture today, people think temple is a temple, it's not like that. Well, I've been trying to explain this about certain temples about which there are controversies. Some of the men here are protesting, why can't we be Devi, you know, Bhairaganas. Only why women are in charge of the temple? Why is it only their privilege? Gender discrimination. That's how it is, because she's consecrated that way. It needs women, she needs women around her. She needs that, and that's the way it is done, for a specific purpose. So, if it is well consecrated for a specific purpose, consecrations are of different kinds. There are some consecrations which just reverberate. They have no discrimination. Like, well, you have these lingas in the Surya Kund, they have no discrimination, they just reverberate. They've been set up for a masculine energy, they simply reverberate. Whoever comes, they don't know. Even if you put a buffalo into the pond, they won't know, they will do the same thing, because they just… it's like light. Light is on, you can read, you can write, you can see, you can do whatever the hell you want. It doesn't care, it just puts out light, that's all. So, they are that type of consecration where there is no discrimination or any kind of discernment in that. But Dhyana Linga, Devi, these are made differently where there is a discernment. It's not that if I say this, this could be taken literally. If you enter the temple, the deity knows who you are. Who you are means not your name, your father's name, we don't care. Even I have not asked what's your father's name. When I wanted to marry my wife, I didn't ask her, what is your father's name? My father was shocked that you don't know her father's name and you're marrying this girl. I said, I'm just marrying the girl. So, there are certain people who wants to know father's name, how much wealth he has, what is his financial status and social status, because they're marrying something else. So, this aspect of the deity able to recognize you has been done in many ways. This is done in a very refined, sophisticated way so that it recognizes anybody based on how their energy situations are, where the status of life is right now, what level of evolution, how it is, in that sense. But there are other deities which is very common in southern India, which is probably these days lost in north, is we have Kula Devatas or Kula Daivams. That means a particular deity created for a particular Kula. Kula means a smaller segment of a caste. So here the genetic map of this Kula is kept and the deity is consecrated to serve only that type of genetics. This is why this fight in the villages, any inter-Kula marriage or inter-caste marriage means why they're struggling is, then you won't have a god of your own. You will become outcast. Well, that's taken on a social dimension and an ugly forms, that's a different matter. But essentially it is coming from this fundamental understanding because you have created an energy form which takes care of this particular genetic information. If somebody who doesn't belong to that comes, it won't respond. So these things were done in a very scientific way for different purposes. There are many fantastic processes even today, but mostly lost. So it is better to create universal things which are not based on genetics, but based on the evolution of one's energy. That is what we are doing. That is why these new temples, which will not recognize you by genetics, it will not recognize you by your parentage, but will recognize you for what you are right now. So, both these things were done right from ancient times, but most of the temples were done for genetic material because that is what people would fund. They want a specific temple in their town for their clan, so that their well-being, they created those things. A few were created for everybody's well-being, so they were always named differently to make you understand a little bit. Here, let us say there is one Mariamman temple, it will have a prefix name of a particular Kula and then that. But let's say some other temple like let's say Kashi Vishwanath, it's Vishwanath, that means he is for the entire world. He is not recognizing you by your genetics, he is recognizing you by who you are right now in terms of your energy, in terms of your evolution, where you are right now. In that context, Dhyana Linga will not recognize your genetics, he doesn't care whether you came from your mother's womb or dropped from heaven, we don't care. Because we don't think coming out of your mother's womb and dropping from heaven, one is superior to the other. It doesn't matter how you came, how are you right now, that's all that matters. So, this is a different dimension of consecration. So when we talk about deities and about you enhancing your perception, you don't go there to enhance your perception. There is a process, what to do. You just do that process, you may get enhanced. Oh, so it is iffy, is it? It is not iffy, it depends on where you are, accordingly it'll enhance you. If you get enhanced for what you are not ready, you will go crazy, believe me, you lose your mind. If you saw the things that I saw when I was very young, I'm telling you, you would have lost your mind, many of you. Because I saw all kinds of things and sat there like this. And even people around me thought I have some psychiatric issue because I sat seeing all kinds of impossible things. So if you develop a perception to see something which your mental framework and your energy framework is not ready for, you will be shattered. So you never go seeking a particular level of perception, you just go do the process. The deity is been created in such a way, it is of a higher intelligence than you. You allow it to work with you. You just do your sadhana as it is prescribed. This is the access, this is the code. Just make use of it, and how much excess you find, let's see. Depends on who you are.